There's a wonderful movie starring Michael Caine and Sean Connery, and it's called The Man Who Would Be King. And Freemasonry plays a big part in this movie. And one of the characters is Rudyard Kipling, played by Christopher Plummer in the movie. And Rudyard Kipling actually was a Mason in real life. But he said, somebody asked him why someone of his stature would be a Freemason. And he said, Freemasonry is the brotherhood of all men. And that's why I became a Freemason. We do not allow women. Not something that I necessarily agree with, but again, this is an organization that was started hundreds of years ago. So, but within the realm of men, within the realm of men of lawful age, we accept all colors and creeds and political beliefs and social standing. It is not unusual to sit in lodge and this brother is a janitor and this brother is a surgeon and this brother is a taxi driver and that brother is a judge. One of my favorite stories is in the military lodges overseas, whether you're talking about the American Military Lodge or the British Military Lodge system. It was not unheard of that the worshipful master during the day was a private and his junior deacon during the day is a general. But in lodge, the private is the master and the general is the junior deacon and must take orders from the private. People who are outside of the realm of rulership always have something bad to say about those within the realm of rulership, whether you're talking about royalty or a government or an organization that you're not a member of. Understand that back many years ago, the 1600s, 1700s, 1800s, back in the days before television and the internet and radio and even widespread printed word, men of affluence have always felt the need to gather together. So we see the founding fathers, for instance, of the United States, many of whom were Freemasons. That is not to say that Freemasons got together and started a conspiracy called the United States of America. It's just back in those days, it was extremely common for affluent people to belong to fraternal organizations. If you look at the Victorian era, it was almost unheard of for an adult male to not belong to some fraternal organization, whether it was the Freemasons or the Oddfellows or the Knights of Columbus or the Knights of Pythias or any of hundreds of organizations. It was the fashion, particularly for the well-educated and the affluent, to belong to fraternal organizations. So it makes for a very easy story. If every legislator in the room is a member of Freemasonry, it's easy to say that Freemasons are ruling the country or are ruling some situation. It's more coincidence than anything else. Well, again, because we are not allowed to strike or harm another brother, and because we are not a government, and because we are not an organized religion, I would have to put us way down at the bottom. We have been accused of perhaps taking the life of one person, and that was in 1826, a man by the name of Morgan, who said that he was going to publish the secrets of Freemasonry. And mind you, the secrets of Freemasonry basically boil down to the secret handshake. That's about the only thing that's secret in Freemasonry. It was never proven. It was in 1826, and we don't even know that he was killed. He just disappeared one day, which back in 1826 was an easy thing to do. But when you look at how many millions of people have been killed by, say, the Catholic Church over its history, through the Crusades and all of those types of things, and how many people have been killed in the name of one religion versus another religion, which, quite frankly, are arguing the same point. They're just calling them different names. And when you look at the millions of people that are killed by governments, Freemasonry is not even on the same list. No. And of course, we all have different definitions of religion, but for myself, Freemasonry is not a religion in the traditional sense of the Catholic Church or the Orthodox Church or the Jewish faith. Freemasonry is a system of morals. We say that my reason for being here is to learn to subdue my passions and improve myself in Freemasonry. Well, in the old way of speaking, when they said my passions, they were talking about the parts of me that were not so nice. They don't mean passion in a romantic way. They mean passion in the parts of my personality that I would rather not have. So I have come here to learn to subdue those parts of my personality that I might not be so proud of, and learn to improve myself through this system of morals, as opposed to a religion, which is a belief in a system, a predetermined dogma of that institution. There's the difference. There are two things that are not allowed in Freemasonry, anywhere: the practice of religion or the discussion of politics. The two things we're accused of doing the most, we're not even allowed to do within these halls. We are not allowed to discuss religion, and we are not allowed to discuss politics. We're sitting in a room situated in the Midwestern United States where Christianity is the predominant religion of the people who live in this part of the country. That book behind me could just as easily be the Quran. It could be the Torah. It could be the Bhagavad Gita. We don't say that it needs to be the Holy Bible. We say that it needs to be a sacred book. When I was raised to master of my lodge, I knelt before the altar and put my hands on the holy book. Well, for my ceremony, I had 5 different books on the altar, not just one, to symbolize that I believe that Freemasonry includes all religions. Freemasonry is the brotherhood of all men, regardless of color or creed or political beliefs. That's the wonderful thing about Freemasonry. It rises above all of those things. Find me somebody, anybody, who doesn't want to rule the world. I want to rule the world. You want to rule the world. Everybody would love to rule the world. But all I can speak to you about is my experience in Freemasonry. And my experience in Freemasonry is when we sit in this room, we share a fellowship, a brotherhood. We enjoy each other's company. We don't meet in this room and say, okay, tomorrow we're going to take over this country, or tomorrow we're going to take over this banking institution or this stock market. Maybe I'm sitting in the wrong room of Freemasonry, but as I tell people, if we have the Holy Grail, nobody has shown it to me yet. Well, the very first thing is there would be no more wars, because a Freemason takes an oath that he will never strike another brother. So if everybody's a Freemason, I can't strike them. So there would be world peace right off the bat. we take an oath to relieve every worthy brother Master Mason and their widows and orphans. So there would be no poverty, there would be no hunger, because we have taken an oath to take care of each other and their families. I have sworn an oath to take care of your wife and children if something should ever happen to you, just as you have taken an oath to take care of mine. If you go to Texas, they'll tell you it stands for green beans. That's one of my favorite stories. They say it can't be a Masonic meeting unless at dinner you have green beans. But interestingly enough, the G is primarily seen in the United States. In many other, originally, the G was not there. The symbol of Freemasonry was simply the square and compasses. The G, we are told, stands for two things. What we say on the surface, the easy answer is it stands for geometry. That science which teaches us right from wrong in its angles. But then, in the same breath, we tell you that it stands for God. Though interestingly enough, within Freemasonry, your interpretation of God is completely up to you. All that we require is a belief in a supreme being. We don't even require you to believe in God. We require you to believe in a supreme being, however you see that supreme being to be. You may see it as an all-knowing being sitting up on a cloud somewhere, or to my mind, the supreme being is the relationship between you and I at its highest level. When you and I have learned to love each other without thought of greed or envy or contempt for your beliefs as they differ from mine, once all those things are gone, that's the supreme being, is the relationship at its highest level between two people.